We always say, man, God got you. How's he going to do it? He's going to do it through you. Because I believe we are the hands, the feet, and the heart of Jesus in this place, on this earth. Tonight, I believe God is going to speak through our speaker, and we have a dynamic one tonight. He goes by the name of Ryan Terrell. Man, I love this brother. I've been knowing him the better part of 30 years. I believe it's been over 30. We used to go to the same church back in the day. But I've seen his journey. I've seen his growth. I've seen him move in spaces and just has become a leader in our community. Some people may know him as a fashionista. He's a man of fashion. You talk about sweater. He got on a tight sweater tonight with his initials on his shoes. Some people might know him as a banker. When I found out he was the manager of the bank. This is a nonprofit, so y'all are able to make donations. I mean, this stuff does cost. We moved all of our money over to the bank where he was at because we believe that he's a man of good character and one of integrity. And then the bank turned right around and gave us a donation. That's how you do, y'all. That's God. We didn't ask for it. They said, we believe in y'all mission. They cut us a check. But not only that, he's a mental health advocate. I'm going down the line, brother. Who's not afraid to be transparent and talk about his own struggles of what he had to deal with in hopes to free somebody else. But I know him as a man of God and as a friend. And it's an honor for him to grace this place tonight. He always shows up and adds to the conversation. And I said, I believe God has something in you, and I believe you need to share it with these brothers here tonight. So without any further ado, we gonna turn up. Everybody say turn up. Turn up. Put your hands together for Ryan Terrell. Oh, last thing but not least, y'all, if this is your first time, just throw your hands up. Let's give it up for the first timers, y'all. Make some noise for them. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for being here. This is your first time. I want y'all to understand we always have dynamic guest speakers, but this is not a monologue. This is a dialogue. Join the conversation. If you got something to add to, feel free to share. All right? One more time, y'all give it up for my man Ryan.
So happy New Year, everybody. That wasn't good enough. Happy New Year, everybody. So normally when I give a talk, I'm very excited. Tonight, I'm very heavy because, and I'm not gonna make through stop crying, I can tell you that right now. What I was given tonight, and he talked about my transparency and my realness. This is gonna be the realest thing I ever say. Legitimately. And so I want to thank Ty because a few months ago he said, all you got to do is say the words, I'm ready. And I got you. And we left the meeting the other week or the other month. And I don't know when I said it, but I was walking into Walmart and I just texted him, I said, I'm ready. And the crazy thing about that is, I don't think I was ready. But Tone just said, I could have gave him the mic because that's all I needed, that sometimes you're going to be forced to jump, either voluntarily or involuntarily. And so this is me being pushed off a ledge. Before I start, I see people in here that have known me since I was a teenager. Deacon Bernie's here. Shimon is here. He's known me probably the second longest. People that I've known for years that showed up tonight. So I really, really appreciate you all. So if I were going to give you a title or a topic, it's going to be Real Men, Real Faith, Real Talk. Real men, real faith, real talk. So fellas, did y'all know that you can be getting it and still going to get it while balancing life and home. But I want you to think about these three things. Everybody think about these three things. Because we talked about last meeting, and there was a lot of dialogue concerning that. What does your significant other want? What do your kids want? And what do you want? So my prayer is that you'll not only love your women better, but that you're better husbands and fathers and better men of God. Now, we got on Tone X a lot last time about him being a linebacker in high school, because no one believed that. Nobody believed that. Nobody believed that. He said he wasn't built the same way, but, you know, I still can't see it. But we also got on him about his rant. But the crazy thing about his rant last meeting, it was actually warranted. See, typically, we sit here listening to someone speak, then one person asks a question, and then the room erupts, and hands go up, and people start chiming in, and the real talk begins. Now, every speaker that's been up here, powerful in their own right. And if only one person got something, they did their job. But also, Fly Tie is very strategic about who he puts up, because his name is on this, but more importantly, God's name is. But fellas, we tend to shy away from the real talk, the real feelings, the questions with real answers. It's like, think about when you were in school, and you had a question, but you refused to be the first person to raise your hand. And the teacher said, simply ask your question because someone else in the room may have that same question. Then some brave soul raises their hand, and then you garnered the courage to do the same. And then it was like popcorn after that. And everybody shaking their head because you know exactly what I'm talking about. This room right here is supposed to be a safe space for men, and I believe it is. An environment curated with challenging nuggets, wisdom, and vulnerability. And it is, and it can be even more if we focus on things, some of the things I'll touch on later. See, the value of strength lies in vulnerability. And that's where we become real men with real faith who have real talk. And I hope by the end of this talk, you'll have some takeaways to enact immediately in your life to be the real men God's called you to be. Now, before I read the scripture, disclaimer, preacher, deacon, I'm not a preacher. I typically don't even cuss in public or on camera. I don't really cuss like that anyway. But I can't say that I may not, Rob, you knew me from high school, that don't count. I can't say tonight that I'm not going to say a couple things because there's emphasis that's needed on some of these things, okay? So, I got to give it how it was given to me, y'all. And some things require a little more emphasis. So I'm good, I'm not a preacher, but I know y'all ain't here, so forgive me in advance. But I got to be raw and real. Y'all cool with that?
Oh yeah.
Y'all cool with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. So, real men. Psalms 133, 1 through 2. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious oil that runs down the beard, even Aaron's beard, that ran down to the skirt of his garments. That word, behold, means to see, especially something that's remarkable or impressive. That's what this room is. Behold, we got 60, 70 men on a mission to be better. The black man, the white man, the Asian man, all ethnicities gathered together. So when that happens, brother, the oil's gotta flow. The Bible says, where 2 or 3 are gathered together, I will be in the midst. Matthew 18:20. God is in the midst of us. Guys, he's here. And he wants us to be real men. Not the macho men we learn to be. Not the emotionless, stoic men we morphed into because society said men don't cry. Men don't ask for help. Think about when you were younger and you fell and you hurt yourself when you were 7. And if your dad was around or your somebody was around, they said, boy, you good, get up, shake it off. And then you're 17 and you get hurt playing sports. They say, boy, you good, shake it off. Then you're 27 and you're in a relationship and you have no idea how to emote because For 27 years, you've been told to shake it off. You've been told to repress those emotions. You've been told to be stoic because men don't cry. They don't ask for help. Did y'all know Jesus asked for help? Luke 22:42, NIV version. Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done. The New Living Translation says, Father, if you are willing, please take this cup of suffering away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine. And fellas, we're created in God's image and likeness. We are called to be the priests, protectors, and providers in our home. And providers, not just financially, it's holistically. We're called to be the priests, the protectors, the providers in our home, not just financially, but holistically. How many of you all can say that that's what you do on all three levels? This is no judgment zone, because I'll raise my hand that I don't all the time. But I'm working on it. One of the books I'm reading, or I read rather, said the warmth you give to others always comes back to you. We go out in this world daily, and we touched on this last time, and give people our very best. We serve others with kindness. We pack blessing bags for stolen lunches, or we donate to the unhoused community. Yet we come home and don't extend that same warmth to our women, to our families. We let the world affect our home negatively, and oftentimes the family suffers and gets the crumbs. And as I said, I'm preaching to myself too, because I let my last job, and one of my former coworkers in here, and he knows how crazy it was at that job. But it took a toll on my life in the most awful way. So we're not giving everything to our women, and then we wonder why our women won't give us none at the end of the day. You know why? She's tired. She worked too, but then she came home, fixed dinner, helped the kids with their homework, ironed their school clothes, gave them a bath, read their bedtime story, tucked them in, forgot to eat herself, didn't shower. And here you come trying to poke her after all that. Told you I was going to be real. Breadwinner or not, you can't expect her to give her all of herself when you've given all of yourself to the world. So what some do, I've been guilty of this, we feed our flesh. We create distance. We hop into DMs of IG models or chicks that we shouldn't be talking to. Women we have no business interacting with.
Come on, sir.
Remember this, y'all. Sin never gets smaller. It only grows. And the more you feed it, the stronger it gets. Sin never gets smaller. It only grows, and the more you feed it, the stronger it gets. But also, know this, where there's no discipline, there's darkness. And we are all called to be disciplined. We're humans. We seek attention, right? We move towards what feels good right now and move away from what feels hard in the moment. Those self-reflective moments that if we just sat in it for a little while, it would allow us to empathize with our women and become more emotionally aware and emotionally available. Our spidey senses would think to ourselves, what can I do to alleviate some of the daily pressure in her life? How can I help her reset after her day? I guarantee that if your lady did all the things I mentioned and more, when the kids went to bed, you lit some candles, you ran her bath, you put on some soft music, let her relax. After she finishes that bath, what you think's gonna happen?
She's supposed to be.
He said poker.
She's gonna fall asleep.
She gonna fall asleep, that's crazy. But let me say this. If your wife's not into baths, whatever she's into, do that thing. And once you do it, report back to me. All right? I'm in the group meeting. I give you my number, email. Report back. I want to hear if you consistently do those things and you're consistently pouring into her are multipliers. So what you're giving her, she's going to give back to you. They're multipliers.
Yeah.
People say you can't pour from an empty cup. How do you fill a cup? How do you fill a cup? Those uncomfortable conversations that urge us to be different. That's what's needed. Pressure creates resistance to change. And I know you're thinking, but Ryan, what do I do when my girl pressures me to have a discussion that I don't want to? You do it anyway. Now, I'm not saying if you're enraged or you're on 10, that's the time to have a conversation, right?
Right.
Wait, I was loud on that. Remember, it's not about right and wrong. It's about making it work. I know humans are hardwired and need to be in control because control makes us feel what? Safe. Control makes you feel safe. But releasing control and allowing God in those moments, it's actually where He wants you to be. Because now you're forced to put your trust fully in Him.
Right.
How many of you all know that your future is the sum of your past decisions? Think about that. Is that fight really worth it? Is it worth it? A preacher once told me, your wife is the product of your intelligent choice. You willingly chose her. So why not keep choosing her? Ephesians 4:26 says, be angry and what? Sin not. So in those moments, those heated moments, don't lash out. Don't seek the attention of others. Be a real man. Take accountability for your contribution to that moment. And decide to be the warmth you desire because it'll come back to you. Now let me tell, I got a story, all right? I talk about choosing your battles. So, my two favorite foods are taco and pizza. Judge yourself, it's okay. Tacos and pizza. And my wife did not know how to cook when we met. True story. Like my kids refused to eat our food, like no joke. And we all know how raw kids can be. My son Grayson, who's 7, would say, Dad, this doesn't taste good. Right in front of her. Straight up. Dad, this doesn't taste good. I don't like this. Now, in fairness, her and her 2 boys, her older boys, from a previous relationship, were vegetarians for a long time. And she didn't know how to cook. So everything was adjustment. Blended family, all things, like everything was adjustment. Now, I always notice when she changes an ingredient in a dish she's made before. And I typically would say, what'd you do different? But, in the state of our marriage at the time, didn't even bring it up until she asked. When she asked, I responded, it was cool. It was cool. But I didn't really get that taco flavor that I normally get. She hasn't bought it since. Amen. But the thing is, I got my desired result. And I told her, without telling her, stop changing this up. But I could have said, why don't you buy the Badia season that you always use? Because that's what I like. But I also could have cooked myself. In that moment, I was grateful she cooked because acts of service is my top love language. And even though I didn't fully enjoy it, I also was reminded that I could have a wife, like I once did, who didn't cook at all. Instead, I got a wife who went to TikTok University because she wanted to know how to cook. And she, no joke, y'all, she learned on TikTok. Because in one of our first conversations, I said to her, I need a woman that cooked 3 times a week. That was something that was just me. You don't have to be that guy, but if you can't cook for your husband 42% of the time, I don't know. So she learned. She even makes her own salad dressing now. That's how good she is. And if you've ever had her deviled eggs, they're amazing. Yeah, they're amazing and restaurant work. Does that make sense? So I want to transition a little bit to the real faith part, and the real faith and the real talk are gonna kind of run together. But I wanted to give some more scriptures. I'm supposed to say preach, big fella. I'm just kidding. Some more scriptures with this section. Okay, so now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1, the King James Version. 1 John 5:14-15, the New Living Translation. And we are confident that he hears us whenever we ask for anything that pleases him. And since we know he hears us when we make our requests, we also know that he will give us what we ask for. Now, how many of you know, and there's a disclaimer part after this, or there's an and after this, how many of you know you can live in faith and in reality, but in the fact that you can accept where you are in this moment, but also believe God for that what you speak? And not a preacher, I don't believe fear is the absence of faith. Because I said earlier, even Jesus was afraid before his crucifixion. But in my words, I'm asking God to navigate me through this, because I'm really effed up right now, y'all. I'm not even going to lie to you. But here's how strong my faith, your faith must be. Mark 11:23, the New Living Translation says, I tell you the truth. You can say to this mountain, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. But you must really believe it will happen and have no doubt in your heart. I tell you, you can pray for anything. And if you believe that you've received it, it will be yours. James 5:15-17, and the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven. So Ty has alluded to this a few times. A few months ago when I came to this meeting, my wife was staying with her sister for a week. And decided she was going to leave me. I was oblivious. Because I was battling depression, which I'm openly talking about. On medication. Was on leave from work and not getting paid for 2 months. And in hindsight, even with all I had going on, I was still selfish. She was out busting her ass, working odd jobs to hold it down on the days I didn't want to get out of bed. We have this party we go to in Atlanta. It's called Deeper. Think of it like an old basement party. You got 600 people in there just going crazy. Nothing really like that happens in Charlotte. You come to my house, I'm just saying. But it is one of those, we literally go to this every first Friday of the month. It's called Deeper Fridays. We go as much as we can. We don't have the kids. But the last 2 times we've gone to Deeper, we've left early. Now, on the trips, I pay for the trips. I drive. Whatever the flight is, hotel, I pay for all of it. Last 2 Atlanta trips, we left the spot early. So we went to, I think I had an engagement in Raleigh or something, and we were in Raleigh, and I can tell something just wasn't right. And it's the craziest thing when I say it out loud. But she didn't box my food up. And then it hit me like, it's been 5 years, I have never boxed my own food. I didn't even think about it. I don't have to lift a finger in that, like, I just didn't think about where she was until that moment for some stupid reason. But the funny thing about all this, so we sit in the car, so we go to a spot and we're just kind of sitting there, chilling, and we go back to the room, and I pull up at the hotel, and I said, where do I fit in this new life that you've created for yourself? And that's when she told me she was leaving. The not so funny thing about this is, it's my fault. I made her like this. I call her name, she says, what? My wife never answers me, what? For those who know Tracy, she is so chill until she's not. But she asked me what, and when I try to get her attention, she never denied me sex or anything. I didn't put the finger in that house. Now I gotta sit in it. I said the other meeting, an empty house will humble you. I gotta feel the thing she's been feeling for so long, and for what? Because of my ego? Because I know I can get anybody I want? I don't want her. Nothing else matters. Had the baddest woman on the planet and still didn't know how to handle it. So now I stand here today, in this moment, January 6th, at 8:17, on the brink of a separation from my second marriage. to somebody I know is actually my person. And that's real talk. That's real talk. It's where I am currently. It's my reality. But it's not where I'm going to stay. I have faith in God that He'll change your heart and bring her back to me, because if you speak it enough, your reality will catch up with your confession. So talk about real talk. Ephesians 5:15-17. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. That same night that she went to stay with her sister, I came to the meeting that Tuesday. And typically, after the meeting, I'm trying to get back home to my wife, because I like being around my wife. But she wasn't home. So I was standing outside talking. Q was like, they're going after spot, you should come through. And I walked in. There was like 4 or 5 of y'all there. And Ty, who's here, told me I need to read the book, The Way of the Superior Man. Changed my life. Now, do I agree with every single thing the book said? No, but as the old folks say, chew the meat, spit out the bones, right? It changed my life. So the same night she left, the same night I finally freaking got it. This was like August, y'all. Finally freaking got it. The book talked about a lot of things, but it said penetrate her mind, body, and her soul. I'm damn good at the body part, soul part. The mind, not so much. We don't really fight. It's not really our thing. I don't argue and go back and forth. I don't raise my voice at her. I don't cuss. None of that. But this night, I must not have been on my meds, because after we talked, she went downstairs. I was in my man cave, and I threw a chair across the room. Not at her. She wasn't in the... She went downstairs. She was downstairs. I was upstairs in my loft. And then I threw a chair across the room. I didn't throw a chair. You gotta listen, man. You gotta listen. Threw a chair across the room. And I sat there texting her from upstairs for like 2 hours. Texting her in the same house for like 2 hours. She told me she needed to feel close. Did I want to go downstairs to comfort her? No. Did I know I should have? Absolutely. Do I feel like an idiot because of it? Damn right. And little did I know in that moment, that was one of the moments that she was like, I'm getting out of here. Crazy part about all this, even with all this going on, she says to me, there are going to be seasons where I'm going to have to leave you. And she has. She's let me pray more. She's let me to read more. Let me to change this Playboy image I created, the fashion connoisseur persona, the nasty dude. The thing is, she's been trying to lead me to be the man she's needed. And I was oblivious. She had been emotionally and mentally leaving me since the summer, during the time I was in deep depression. But I still missed the signs, y'all. She changed my name in her phone. I was no longer a screensaver. She'd been sleeping on the edge of bed for weeks. And she stopped buying some food. Stopped initiating sex. All in a span of 4 months. That's how quickly my life turned around. But also because it had to. It needed to. I don't know if you've ever looked at your woman and she said to you, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to fall back in love with you. I don't want to let you back in. I know you're changing, but it's too late. That crushed every part of me. She didn't want to wear rings anymore. You haven't seen us in public in months. We ain't posted a picture in weeks. And if we did, if you go back and look at some of the pictures and the videos, you can see it all in her face that she didn't even want to do it. She was no longer my life. And told me I was free to do whatever I wanted. I said it earlier. All I want is her. Regret was never a part of my vocabulary because I know all that's happened to me in my life is just a curriculum for my life, as my therapist would say. But as I look back at all the things she recounted to me and all those moments she was begging for me to love her the way she needed to be loved, I regret not doing so. But here's the thing, fellas. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the guidance in that area to get me to be the man she wanted me to be. I didn't have it. I did not have it. And I didn't know how to do what she was asking. And I didn't know how to show up for her in the way she needed. But when I finally got it, she said, it's too late. She was emotionally starved. And by the time I could feed her properly, she lost her appetite. There were so many signs that I was focused, but I was focused on me. I was selfish in my past decisions. And what did I say earlier? Your past decisions do what? Affect your future. And I couldn't see it. Couldn't see it. I know I have a knack for people. So doing things in life as a husband, what I thought, weren't hard per se. Because I understood and understand women to a degree at a pretty high level. But I also know, and this is not cocky, but listen to the rest before you say, whoa. I also know I'm blessed in the bedroom to please. But then she told me, I'm more than what I can do behind closed doors. She saw me, even when I never saw her. And I don't know, maybe subconsciously, I had to prove someone that I'm that guy. I don't know who, I don't know why, but I did. I needed the acknowledgement of being the best they've ever had. Maybe because I'd never been acknowledged or affirmed by my family, or my mother, or my seed donor, because I don't even call him that word. I was the gentleman whore. I'm the guy they circle back to. I'm the guy who made them come first and let them stay the night if they were too tired to drive. I'm the charming, charismatic, well-dressed guy. But the gentleman whore, why in the hell would I even succumb myself to that moniker? Nothing good comes from that. I was in church Sunday, and one of the principles of our church is to discover purpose. And I was sitting next to a young lady, and she said, do you know your purpose? And I said, actually, I do. I do. I do. A few meetings ago, I sat in this room teary-eyed, and I said, I know there's a calling on my life, but I was scared to go all in. I was scared to surrender. I was scared to do exactly what God called me to do. I say this all the time, that there's someone waiting on you to do what you're supposed to do. And if you don't do it, they'll be lost. And the blood will be on your hands. This is what I'm called to do, y'all. I'm not called to preach. I have a marketplace ministry. I'm called to empower men to be better men. Husbands, fathers, any relationship. I'm here to empower black men through my nonprofit to be the best dads they can be and give them resources to strengthen their family. I'm blessed with a mic. I always thought that fashion was going to be my thing, and I was going to be on TV because of fashion and get into entertainment. And I thought that was with the mic. That's what I needed. I was going to be the host. I was going to be Ryan Jarrell, the host, the handsome mic man. That's what I thought I was. That's what I created. Still got a mic. The gift is just different. Do what you're supposed to do. Because someone's lost, and the blood will be on your hands. And don't let the one that gets lost be your son or your daughter. But most importantly, man, don't let it be your wife. Unfortunately, some of the best in life are birthed through pain. God bless you. Wow.